The red hot papa. If the Lord has a word, he was on Pentecost of Anita's, Mississippi. The Lord is here tonight.
So the 10th anniversary of 9/11 is coming up. 9/11 being the horrific terrorist attacks on our country perpetrated by devoutly religious men who put their religion and prayer and God before everything else in their life. You guys remember that one? Yeah. They're going to have a memorial service in New York City, and the good mayor has decided to exclude any and all religious leaders from speaking at the event. Naturally, Fox News is here to remind you how much this sort of thing pisses them off. Naturally, Fox News is here to remind you how much this sort of thing pisses off some critics. I wonder who those critics are. In any case, Fox News is pissed.
We're going to talk a little bit about 9/11 and the 10th anniversary that's coming up, and there is a new controversy now that is heating up over the memorial service in New York City. The city has decided that no religious leaders will be included in that event. City leaders saying that the ceremony is going to be about the families and about the victims, but some critics are shocked and frankly very surprised that this decision was made, and they argue that faith and prayer helped so many people get through that tragedy. Of that there can be no doubt.
But there can and should be doubt. The absence of doubt is sorta at the root of the whole problem, don't you think? Nonetheless, I'm sure it really is true. Many people probably did use their faith and their religion to help deal with the pain of 9/11. Just as many almost certainly turned to alcohol and intravenous drug use. But as you may have noticed, the mainlining heroin hour has also been cut from the act. And it's not because they couldn't get Amy Winehouse to show up either. Ooh. Look, there are many ways to shy away from the reality of the world, and after all, as human beings we often find it's much easier to remain hidden in the shadowy undergrowth of our own fabricated dream worlds and fantasies about the way we wish things really were. I get that, but let's not encourage this shit.
You say that, you think that Mayor Bloomberg has gotten too much heat.
Yes and no. I would say it's not a grand conspiracy of secularists to try to get rid of religion, I don't think.
Yes, it is a grand conspiracy. Although it's got nothing to do with getting rid of all religion, no. It's about removing it from our government, and the conspiracy got started by the founding fathers of this country. Although most don't really consider it a conspiracy, considering their intentions were laid out plain as day and declared openly in official documents and paperwork. It's all in your history book, just read one. But please, go ahead, Father. Let's hear some more of your mindless prattle.
I think for our country, this is an unhappy, an unhealthy, and an unholy mistake in leadership. Why? Because you cannot say that the families and the victims are somehow living on an island separated from their religion.
Good point. Had they lived in a world completely separated from religion, the family members lost in 9/11 would still be here. And there would be no reason for this memorial in the first place.
I think it's a very simple thing.
It doesn't matter what you think!
There's still time. Having 10 religious leaders of the major faiths representing the victims and their families is a wonderful, American, beautiful thing.
The 10 major religions, eh, Father? Would that include the Islamic faith? Gee whiz, I think we may have just stumbled onto the real reason the whole religion angle was left out of this in the first place. Should we include an Islamic holy man in the religious lineup at this event? They are one of the largest religions in the whole world. We can't just leave them out of the proceedings entirely. You got a point. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just leave them all out equally. How's that sound?
Let's be honest, this was an attack by pseudo-religious people. What a great opportunity to rectify that with real religion.
Really? You're gonna take that route? Let's see what the Merriam-Webster dictionary has to say about that shit. Religion. The service and worship of God or the supernatural. Commitment or devotion to religious faith or observance. A cause, principle, or system of beliefs held to with ardor and faith. Sounds to me like the 9/11 hijackers had the whole religion thing down to a fucking T.
And you would think that a blessing, you know, of a handful of different religious leaders would just feel so appropriate.
No, as a matter of fact, I wouldn't think that. Didn't you? I just explained hijackers.
Emptying out this ceremony of any religious sentiment does not make this a more dignified, simple, wonderful event. What it does is it makes it less what it was in the moment, and that is a moment also of spiritual truth.
It feels like...
Oh, I'm sorry, Martha, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but yes, indeed, 9/11 was a moment of spiritual truth. The truth about what happens when religious devotion and devout faith in a magical fairy tale concept is allowed and encouraged to run amok. That moment, we saw religion for what it truly represents. Something with the power to brainwash. Something with a mind control ability so tremendous that it could cause human beings to do things so horrific. I, for one, am all about separating ourselves from that moment, putting it in the past where it belongs. I am OG Jimbo. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
He's been labeled the world's youngest preacher, and that intrigues me. Something that we never dreamed. It feels like a fantasy world that we're living in.